Today's podcast is brought to you by Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. When it comes to home and auto insurance, it's important to have the right coverage from a company and an agent you can trust. Someone who will help you properly protect the people and things you love most. So if the unexpected happens, you and your family can rest insured. To request a free quote, find your local KFB insurance agent at mykfbagent.com. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment. Hey, Matt, how's it going?
It's going well. How's your morning going so far?
It has been a busy one, but a fun one. I like ending on podcasts. It makes for a fun day.
Yes, I love these. Just long chats with some really good people, and we have a great couple here today, which is different.
This is our first time having two people on the phone and two of us over here. So y'all disregard if we cut each other off just slightly a couple times. But no, this is a great couple, and thank goodness for phones. We're able to hit the far west Kentucky. We're hitting the river this time.
Yep. They're a great couple, and I think our audience is going to love this one.
So without further ado, I'm Renee Carrico.
And I'm Matt Hilton.
And this is Between the Rows. All right. Well, good morning, Matt, and good morning to the Reynolds. How is everybody?
We're doing very well. How are y'all doing?
Good. And just to help the listeners a little bit, we're going to hear two voices. So, Jonathan, you are joined by your wife. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
How's everybody?
Doing good. Hey, could you guys tell us a little about your farm? Tell us what you grow and what y'all do on y'all's place.
Well, so we have kind of assumed the role of owner-operators here at Spring Hill Farms. It was started by my granddad, and we farm corn, soybeans, some canola. We're going to have a little wheat this fall, and we farm in Hickman County, which is far west Kentucky, right on the Mississippi River.
Yeah, Gracie, we've got, I'll say something in common, just going the opposite way. I'm from West Kentucky and moved central, and you're from central and moved farther west. So tell us a little bit.
That's right.
The kind of farming background you grew up on, just to kind of give listeners an idea of maybe a little bit of difference across the state with what you guys have background in.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up on my family farm in Harrison County, Kentucky, where we raise mainly cattle and tobacco. My parents now have cattle and sheep and have dabbled in hemp at different times. And so I knew about farming and agriculture, but this is a little bit new to me, and I'm still trying to convince Jonathan we need some cows. So
we get our cow fix every time we go up there to visit. So
that's right.
He had that ready.
Right. So tell us, what you guys are a young farm family, and what's some early memories of growing up on the farm, and just tell us, both unique backgrounds. So tell us a little about kind of some of the early memories on the farm.
Yeah, for me, talking about cattle, my first memory that my parents tell me about is I was only home from the hospital a couple of days and went to ride to check cows with my dad, and they ended up getting out. And so we chased cows and put them back up, one of my first experiences on the farm. So for me, just growing up with tobacco, lots of good memories out there, setting the tobacco and just helping. I would drive the tractor a lot when we would load and dropping sticks and all those sorts of things. And I got involved at FFA in high school. That's actually how Jonathan and I met. We were state FFA officers together. And so that's just where our paths crossed. But now we have a son, Noah. He's 18 months old, and we're expecting our next baby next month in October. So not sure boy or girl. We're going to be surprised. And we already see Noah. He loves the farm and likes the tractors and being out in the dirt and everything. So it's just good memories for us.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
And I grew up here on our family's farm, and I ran around with my granddad from the earliest memory that I have, and they tell me that when I was not even a year old, I was riding in the combine with him. So from day one, essentially, I was by his side, and we got to just do life together and learn about all the valuable lessons that you learn working in agriculture, working with your hands, and just being involved in life and what that looks like here. And so those are the things that I'll always cherish. And unfortunately, he passed away back in January, but we're thankful for the legacy that he left behind, and we're hoping to honor him in that and to kind of make it our own now and figure out what that looks like. And so that's exciting because, like she was saying, we've got the next generation already started, and we're looking forward to just seeing how the Lord blesses us.
So true FFA love. I mean, that's
yeah. It's kind of funny. Our team, we had 2 couples marry out of the team, and so that's kind of fun. And we're all still good friends to this day too. And so, yes, FFA love for sure.
Excellent. That's really cool. So yeah, I mean, you do that. You get that good leadership training. You had where'd you go off to college? What happened from there?
So I left Hickman County after graduation and went to Murray State because it's right down the road. And we had a really good working relationship with them already with the dual credit program. So I graduated high school almost a junior in college and was able to transfer everything, and it counted. And so I went there and got to study agronomy and spent 3 years there, and was an awesome experience just to be able to grow and learn. And I think probably the biggest the biggest value I got out of going to college was honestly just the connections and the networking. The education was good, but I think that the biggest thing is just knowing the people that I know now. And had it not been for being at Murray there, I would have never met them. And so I'm very grateful for that experience and just the lessons that I learned through different classes and living on my own to, interning and all of that. It really helped prepare me and really kind of helped me focus on what I wanted to do and realizing that I truly wanted to be back home at the farm. And so after I graduated, I came back home to farm and never looked back since. So.
And I went to University of Kentucky, so I know Renee from there. And I studied agriculture education with a minor in agriculture economics. And UK at the time was 45 minutes from where I grew up. So I always knew I wanted to go there and loved the College of Ag at UK and had a lot of great experiences there. I took my full 4 years. Jonathan graduated early. I did not. But loved my time there. And I went on to teach for 2 years at Hickman County High School, teaching agriculture. But then this year is my first year not teaching and staying at home with our kids and helping on the farm.
That's incredible. Jonathan, going back to what you did, I think you got to leave to know you want to go home sometimes. And I think it's really important going to school to know you really do want to be back at the farm. I'm sure you had that itch the whole time, but getting a chance to spend a couple years, even if Murray didn't feel that far away, I think that's really important for people to figure out. I think it really, and you bring something back to the farm. You talk about the network and the mentorship. One of the podcasts from August, we talk about that moment of when your mentors become your peers. I'm sure that's been a pretty cool transitional moment for you with all those mentors I'm sure you had around that West Kentucky Murray State area. Now you're farming right alongside of them, just counties apart or a field apart. That's got to be pretty neat.
Yes, absolutely. So, and I'm thankful too, because my granddad really encouraged me to get out and to see what life is like outside of the farm. And so, really until I decided, really after my internship, that's where I really decided I was going to come back home. We had been doing some transition and succession planning, and that was going well, but we were still up in the air on what that looked like. And we hit the gas pedal, I guess, on all that whenever I decided to come back home. And so I'm thankful that for those opportunities, but I'm really thankful that he encouraged me to do that as well, instead of just trying to make sure that I stayed here all the time. So you had, what was it about the farm that brought you back and wanted you to raise a family there? I know it seems like, you got a lot of good connections and but you went to college and part of the FFA, you got to see the world a lot, but what brought you back? What really did pull you back to the farm? Well, there's no place like home. And that's a throwback from our FFA days or whatever. But we I don't know. I really enjoyed the fact that every day I got to be here doing the thing that I love the most. It's a different challenge every day. And there's days where I wonder why in the world did I decide to do this? But at the same time, I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And then I'm thankful for, the childhood that I had being raised on a farm. And I want to be able to give that to our kids. And I'm thankful for the life that Gracie and I are starting to build. And we just love it.
Yeah, Gracie, talking about impacting the youth, how is the transition from, I mean, you were a national officer, so you went from a state officer to a national officer, and then you went to a high school teacher, and now you're getting to really get to shape your own kids every day and help them learn. How has that transition been, seeing all those different kinds of scales of working with different levels of youth?
Oh, yeah. It's like drastically different, but it's also the same in a lot of ways. So I think the biggest thing I've learned is just trying to be present in the moment and trusting that God has me where he wants me to be. I didn't know how long I would teach. I didn't know if I would, spend the rest of my life teaching, or if I would be helping on the farm, or what that would look like. But to this day, just whether it's on the farm or with our family or in our community, just the lessons I learned in FFA and from those experiences with being from people like all across the country, just learning how to interact with people and empower people, teaching people about agriculture. So yeah, it's kind of different, but it's also very much the same. And I'm just thankful, a lot like Jonathan said, just for connections that I've had over the years, and been really fortunate with friendships that I've had. And I feel like, those friendships and mentorships grow and adapt to different stages of life. And I've really seen that going from being a college student to being an officer, to being a teacher, to now being a mom, and just the people that have been around either every step of the way, or maybe just for certain seasons to help me out, and then also getting to help other people out. And even though I'm not teaching, I'm still really passionate about youth development and hopefully supporting our students here in the community. And being involved in Farm Bureau has helped with that too. I'm our women's chair, so just planning Outstanding Farm Bureau youth competition and just different things like that. I hope to still stay involved in supporting our young adults.
Yeah,
that was such a good lead in. My husband laughs at me. He says I was over-involved in college, which is probably true. I think you two could probably relate. I know Gracie can. I wasn't very good at saying no. And then you grow up, and we're still in the industry we love. And so those same organizations that you were getting scholarships from maybe, or going to like their annual meeting, now you can be an officer in your local county. So his big joke is, between my job at Farm Bureau and then our local cattlemen's, and, add another and another, I'm still just as involved as I was in college. It sounds like you guys are kind of the same way. Why don't you both give us a little outlook? Besides just Farm Bureau, we'll probably talk about that some more today. What are some other organizations where you guys are getting to kind of fill that void and get that member leadership, farmer leadership piece, kind of filling that void in your system?
Well, I think I go back to a quote I heard from Heath Durbin when I was in college, is when you're young and you're willing, they don't worry about the mule, they just load the wagon. And so that's what I feel like has happened to us. And so it's good, but it can be a lot. I've learned, like, you have to be able to say no, or you really will get overwhelmed. But no, we're involved in a lot of different things. I mean, here locally, we do a lot with our church, obviously, and we really try to be as involved as we can there. And then I've been on the soybean board for the last few years. I'm currently the Soybean Association vice president, and I serve on the promotion board as well. And then I've done some things with corn growers and some other groups like that, different commodity organizations. Currently our Farm Bureau county president. I just started that here the last year, and that's been I feel like I've just been jumping in, but and just hanging on by the seat of my pants, essentially, just trying to figure it all out. But between that and then some of our local stuff, I'm going to be filling my granddad's seat on the conservation district here, and then just some different organizations as well. So
yeah, pretty much very similar. And I'm just now transitioning out of being the ag teacher, so kind of still learning things to get involved with, but very involved in our church. And I'm the new women's chair for our Farm Bureau, so getting more involved with that. And conservation district, all those things. And then,
living in a small town, which I think we can all relate to this. I mean, we get asked to do all kinds of different things just day to day. It's a lot of the same people that are involved, or the ones that are doing a lot of different things within the community. So we try to help where we can and really be, just good community members. So.
Very good. Yeah. So let's rewind again. So what do you guys grow on your farm, and kind of how's the summer treated your farm, and how's it looking right now?
So we primarily grow corn and soybeans. We've grown some canola the past few years, and I haven't grown wheat. I've never grown a wheat crop ever. My granddad did, and he quit a long time ago. And I guess I'm the crazy one that has decided to grow a little bit this fall to try it out. And so I guess I'm a glutton for punishment. But so those are the 4 crops that we grow. Currently, this year has actually been fairly well to us. We've been blessed compared to some other parts of the state. I know Gracie's family, they've really been hurting this summer, just being very dry. I know they've been having to irrigate a lot. But we've been blessed with plenty of rain, honestly too much rain at times. And so that's the only good part about where we're at is we're not, contrary to what a lot of people in central Kentucky think, we are not in the flatlands. It's still really hilly where I'm at. You have to get right on the river to get flat. And so a wet year for us is usually not a bad thing, as long as we can get everything planted timely. And there were some issues planting soybeans this year. I know a lot of people struggled with slugs and some other insect pressures. Getting things planted, and so there was a lot of replants going on this year. But all in all, the crops look really good. We'll be harvesting. If we haven't already started yet, we'll be starting soon by the time this comes out. And I'm hoping a really good corn crop, if not a record corn crop, as long as we can maybe get another rain or two to finish it out. And then the beans look good, but we still need some more rain to finish those out. I think it'll be at least an average crop. And then we had our canola this year. It was about average. That could have been better, but we had some weather issues last fall that hurt it some. And so we're hoping that this fall will be a little bit better. But that's kind of the crop update right now. And so hopefully, I hope everybody stays safe as they're out in the field this fall. So.
Yeah, for sure. Talking about the crop, I don't mean to go on a sour note, but everyone I talk to, you're part of the state, and being from Princeton, all my high school friends that are still farming, we're having the same conversation. There's a chance of a bumper crop on corn, but we're looking at a market that's not as exciting. Kind of what's the mood, and how do you guys navigate that? How do you go into a harvest season with the right kind of, I don't know, mantra, I guess, to get through it, with maybe a tough market to stare at and looking at those prices every day?
Yeah, so it's difficult. That's for sure. But I think my biggest thing is I try not to worry too much about it because I know the Lord's going to take care of us. But we've been given a great opportunity to steward things well, and that's what we're trying to do. And so we're trying to be really proactive with our marketing plan. I'm thankful that here the last couple of years I have found some people that I've hired as my advisors for our marketing plan, and they have made me money leaps and bounds, and I'm thankful for that. They're well worth the cost. And so I try to really pay attention to what they're telling them, and just to pay attention to the markets in general. I think I'm in the mindset right now that a good crop is going to help us because we can afford some of the lower prices that we've got right now if we have really good crops. You're looking at revenue per acre, that number, not just the commodity prices. And so I don't want to get trapped into holding on to grain and hoping that things get better. So we've tried to make some very targeted sales early on this year. I'm thankful that we got that done, and I'm glad too we don't have any old crop left over. We got rid of everything early, and so that's helped us going into the fall. And now I'm at the point where I'm going to try to utilize my bins as much as I can. I'm hoping that there will be a post-harvest rally. It may be later than we want, but I think all in all, I hear the mantra that low prices cure low prices and high prices cure high prices. And so I don't know how low we can go, but at some point buyers are going to start coming to the table, and I don't want to be frivolous, I guess, and trying to wait them out. But we're just really trying to pay attention to our numbers, our cost of production, and just making sales whenever we get a rally. So.
Yeah, and I can appreciate that. I think a theme I'm hearing, Matt, is planning, whether it was transition planning with your grandfather, where it's marketing planning. It sounds like y'all have had professionals in the room to help you with those. I think that's a key piece. I'll be honest, our younger generation doesn't always get credit for that. We ask for help sometimes. I think they think we think we can YouTube fix anything. And so I got to tell you, I appreciate bringing in professionals and bringing in the right people, because you're exactly right. People that I talk to that find that right marketing expert, find that right transition planner, whatever it may be, they say the cost pays for itself end over end as soon as you find that right fit. So I applaud you guys for all the planning. I know that's not always an easy decision. Sometimes the price tag on some advice feels a little high till you see it work out.
Absolutely.
That's right. I think it helps to relieve some of that stress too. I mean, just being Jonathan's wife, and observing, and I'm learning a lot, but I think it can help when you're trying to make those decisions. You're talking to people that are really diving deep into what you're discussing, what you're looking at, so you don't have to be an expert in everything. We can't be experts in everything. We're just learning. I mean, we're going to be learning for the rest of our lives, but I think it helps a lot, especially in farming and everything, just to relieve some of that stress.
And I think, for me too, I go back and forth on this at times, but time management's a big thing, that I want to think about too. And at the end of the day, I could try to do everything on my own, but I've got a family at home, and we want to be able to go visit other friends and family and have a life outside of the farm too. And so, not to say that we would need to be, willy-nilly about all that, but like she said, whenever you find the right people, they're well worth the cost. And so that's been a huge asset to us on our farm.
Yeah, I think anytime a young farmer can find mentors, find advice, those kinds of things, I think that's really important, because you're still learning, like you said, forever, really, but definitely at your age. And from a young farmer's perspective, you're involved in Farm Bureau. What's your view of Farm Bureau? What do you think young farmers throughout the state of Kentucky are really looking for when they join an organization like Farm Bureau?
Well, I think we obviously need a voice across the state that's unified, because as policy decisions are made, or just as events happen, having an organization that is committed to the well-being of Kentucky farm families is definitely what I feel like the value is of Farm Bureau. And so, going forward, that's really the message we try to push to people that are interested and talking with different members. Obviously, there's the insurance component too, and that's been, great to us, just easy to navigate and work with, because, things change monthly on our farm, and I'm thankful for great agents and support staff that are, very easy to work with. And so that makes our job a lot easier and gives us some peace of mind that things are protected. And so those are kind of the aspects that I look at, when I think about Farm Bureau in general. So.
Yeah, I think I would say yes to all of that. I think the only thing I would add is talking about being overly involved. It gives us a way to stay involved in our local community, but then in our district and in the state too. And it's cool to get to see people and our friends when we go to different events across the state, and just a way to continue developing too. We're learning things and getting to go to the workshops or hear different speakers or things like that. I think it's a cool way to help us to stay engaged and to also learn more. And we've been talking too, just learning a lot from other counties around us. How do farm bureaus serve their communities? And that's something I know Jonathan and I want to do more of through our Farm Bureau and to continue growing that in our community.
Yeah. Speaking about networking with the young farmers, and I feel like we ask a lot of our guests this, but I think it's good to hear perspective, different corners of the state. When you're talking to some of your peers in your age demographic, what are you hearing are the biggest struggles? What are the biggest challenges maybe? And y'all seem very very Christian driven and very focused on your faith. And so I appreciate how optimistic you guys are, but you're very real in the sense that there are challenges and you got to figure your way around them. What are some things you're hearing from others your age?
Absolutely.
I think there's definitely young farmers in general, where we're at, it's very heavily row crop predominant, and row crop farming is very capital intensive. And so access to capital is a big thing. Interest rates right now being where they're at, it's very difficult. And, I remember even, talking to my granddad last year, as we were watching interest rates go up and just, what that means for our farm. I was asking him because he made it through the 80s. And, we always hear about that and just how awful the farm crisis was then. And the difference that he always reminded me of was that, yes, interest was high and it cost him a lot of money, and they had to really, really tighten their belt straps and be able to get through it. But the cost of equipment, the cost of inputs was nothing like it was today. And so, that's where, 8%, 9% on a lot more dollars can really affect your bottom line compared to, things back then. And so, not to negate what happened, in history, but at the same time, I think for young farmers, it's really tough if you're not, if you don't have backing by somebody, it's really difficult to get started, almost impossible, I would say, at this point. So that's the biggest thing. Land obviously is another a big challenge that people face. Just finding access to land and managing things. And then I would say another one is labor. Yeah. That's the thing we kind of worry about, which, we're a relatively, small operation, where we're at here, and we're trying to do as much as we can, but we do need some help, especially in the spring and fall when we're planting and harvesting. And so, finding quality help is going to be a challenge. We've got some good guys right now, but they're getting older, and they'll want to retire eventually. And so it's finding that labor is going to be a huge challenge, I think, for us going forward.
Yeah, how do you guys manage labor now? So have you guys had them for quite a few years, or do you try to pick up some high school students to try to fill the gaps? What's y'all's kind of mentality when it comes to labor?
Right now, we've got two full-time, one full-time guy now, one part-time guy, but both of them have been here. Ricky, he's our part-time guy now. He's just wanting to slow down a little bit, but he's been here for longer than I've been alive. And then Frankie, he's our full-time guy. He's been here for, 12, 15 years. And so that's kind of what we're rolling with right now. We've got a neighbor that he's retired, but does a lot of hay. And so we've kind of swap out some ground that he cuts for hay for some labor. So he'll come help us in the fall when we're running our crops. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. I've got a few buddies that'll come help every now and then when they're off of work, but we just try to do as much as we can, going forward. We do have a high schooler right now helping kind of just keep up with the yard work and stuff for now. And that may turn into something down the road, or maybe look at, some high school guys to be able to come help us. But right now we're okay, but I'm just thinking 5 to 10 years ahead. We're really going to be needing to find somebody, and we want to try to find someone that we can really invest in and that will stick around for the long term, not just, finding part-time help all the time. Mm-hmm. So
how important is it you guys just stick together through these things? I think that's usually the success of couples is kind of the teamwork involved between the two of you. How important is that you kind of got each other's back through these kind of struggles?
Oh, yeah, I think it's very important. And that's one of the big reasons we made a transition, for me to be able to come home and to be around more. And I loved my job. I really enjoyed my students, but I hated missing out on what was going on here on the farm and missing out with our kids. And so that's been huge, and it's already been a really big blessing to us for me to get to be around more. And I think learning a lot. I mean, a lot of this is new to me. We've been married for 3 years, but a lot, like I learned about the grain and marketing and just all the processes has been new to me. But Jonathan's always very patient in teaching. And I think we saw his grandparents do that. They were married for
60 3 years.
63 years. So just they stuck through it and just always supported each other. And I think it helps too. We both come from a farming background. I understand, when he's working till 9 or 10 o'clock, that it won't be like that all year, but there's going to be some different seasons where that happens. And I'm just kind of used to that from growing up. So yeah, I mean, we love the farm, but we love our family more and just want to make sure that lasts.
He needs to get some cows too, right? Is that?
Yeah, we need to get some cows too.
Sorry.
Well, they used to have cows. I don't know. Your granddad had them probably until he was about 60 or so.
Yeah, he got knocked over by a bull one day.
Yeah,
He decided that was it.
Yeah. Well, and it's more of just a joke now because we're gone a lot, or we want to be able to go, when different things are going on, and having livestock could be kind of hard on us right now. So we've said maybe we'll get a bottle calf in the future and bring it down for our son to take care of, and just little fun things like that.
So last question, just a little bit more fun. Your kids will be what generation on the farm?
Oh, let's see. So technically, I think I am the 6th generation. My granddad really grew the operation, but before him, his family, they all farmed and logged and different things over the years and had, a lot smaller acreage, but he really grew it. But I guess Noah and if we have any other children, which they'll be the 7th generation if they decide to stay.
Here.
So.
Mm-hmm. I think on my side, I mean, it won't be in the same area. I want to say our kids will be the 9th or 10th generation to be involved in agriculture. Mm-hmm. So it won't be, the same type or all in the same area, but I want to say that that's right. Yeah. Somebody told me one time I was a part of the 9th generation. So yeah, pretty cool.
That's incredible. I like to end on that note. I think it's neat. We have so many young families that we love to talk about, of course, that are first generation and their kids will be the second and they're kind of building it with them. But I don't think we need to forget about the ones that have kept it going this whole time. And good for you, Gracie. Count yours too. You're still an ag background. Even if you moved across the state,
totally
it counts.
Totally counts.
Yeah, we're thankful. I mean, it's taken a lot of great people before us to keep it going. And I think I've even asked him, what kept you going back? Because we want our kids, hopefully they love it and enjoy it. But if they don't, we want to support whatever they want to do. So just trying to figure that out, not to force them into it, but just to help them enjoy it if they want to.
Absolutely. Well, I always give everyone a chance to kind of give a plug. I don't know if you guys do social media with the farm, but I do know with the soybean group, you guys end up working the booth at, farm show and sometimes state fair. So if anybody wants to catch you guys, they can find you there normally, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll be there. Well, yeah, state fair is always a good place. And our farm does have a Facebook page. We're not super active on social media right now. We've talked about it, but Spring Hill, I think it's Spring Hill Farms, just on Facebook.
Perfect. Well, we cannot thank you enough. It's been a pleasure, Matt. I know I've enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, you guys are great. Keep doing what you're doing. Young folks like you helping this organization keep going, and obviously farming. So keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate you coming to on the show today, and hope you had a good time chatting with us.
Thank y'all very much. We appreciate you letting us tell our story, and we're thankful for Farm Bureau and all that they do for us too.
It's been fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you, listeners, as well. Don't forget to subscribe to our larger podcast, Kentucky Farm Life, and we'll see you next time on Between the Rows.